Hello everybody, how's it going? Ben Gothard here, founder and CEO of Gothard Enterprises and author of CEO at 20. And today I want to talk to you about networking, right? And I want to talk to you specifically about why people network, right? Because I know at least in my experience, I've always heard you should network, you should do this, you should do that, you should go talk to people, but I never really was told why, right? And so I think that there is a gap in what people say as to why we should network, right? Because networking is incredibly important. I will say that the majority of my success as an entrepreneur has come from networking, right? And there's that quote that a ton of people say, that your network is your net worth. But let's think about it logically, right? If we know people that can, help us unlock doors, or they can teach us something, or they can help us get to the next level, the only reason that we know them is because we've networked and we've built that relationship, right? So I want to give you today 5 reasons why people, including yourself, should be networking, okay? And the first one is get more business, right? As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, it is hard getting new business, right? That's one of the hardest parts about being in business, is getting more business. And what a lot of people forget is that getting new business comes down to meeting the right people who can make the decisions to buy your service or product, right? And so whether you're trying to get leads for your service-based company, or whether you're trying to make sales for your product-based company, whichever one it may be, it's people that are the ones that are going to pay you. It's the people that are going to be the ones that are pulling the trigger to make that purchasing decision. And so if you know more people and you're networking with that community of prospective buyers, your target market, then you will be able to get more business by networking, right? So not only can you get more business in the form of leads and sales, but you can also find partners, right? And I'm not talking about specifically just partners that you can go 50-50 in on your business with. I'm talking about people who, other entrepreneurs in your area, your industry, or niche, who you can form partnerships with on specific things. For example, if you create content online, then you can find people to collaborate with on your content to help give you a fresh perspective on your content, to teach your community something new, and to potentially reach out to their community, and together you two can create something better than what each of you can do separately, right? So that's one example of a partnership. But unless you know those people to work with, and you've built a relationship to where they trust you, to where they trust putting their name beside yours on a piece of content or something like that, if you haven't put in the time to network with them, it's not going to happen, right? Because these sorts of things are only going to happen if you actively go out and make them happen, right? So the first reason is to get more business. Now, that is more from the mindset of an entrepreneur, from the mindset of a business owner, right? So on the other side of the coin, and there's nothing wrong with it, is to get a job, right? And so if you network and you go to recruiting events and you put your name down on all the different sign-up sheets or whatever it may be, you are actively networking, right? And you are putting your name out there to prospective employers, right? So people know your name, you go shake hands, and you make friends with these people. They may hire you later down the road, or if they are your fellow prospective employees, then they may be the people, your peers, that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. So you might as well get to know them now and start building those relationships up, right? So the first 2 reasons are get more business, more from an entrepreneurial standpoint. The second one is to get a job, more from the perspective of a non-business owner, right? So those 2 things are more business oriented, more business focused. I want to talk about the third one, which is you can learn something. If you go out and network and you meet people who know something cool and you talk to them, they might be able to teach you something, right? And they can share what they know, they can share their expertise, they can share their experiences with you, and then you can take something away from that and you can become a better person for it, right? And so, if you're going out and you're going to like a skills-based conference, For example, I went to the Traffic and Conversion Summit 2017 this past March. And at that conference, I learned so much about digital marketing. I learned a ton about digital marketing, right? Because I went out and I was networking. I went to this conference and I learned so much, right? So when you go out to these different places, these networking events, not only can you learn from the people who are on stage, right? And then go up after and talk to them and exchange contact information, but you can also learn from the people who you meet at these conferences, right? Because a lot of the people at digital marketing conferences, for example, because that's the one that I've gone to lately, is other people who are business owners who want to learn the same thing. And so while they may be there to learn more about digital marketing, they may know a ton about traditional marketing, or they may know a ton. All right, sorry, we're back. So, you can learn a ton from not only the people on stage, but you can also learn from the people who are at that conference with you, whether it be about their specific industry, whether it be about how they run their administrative operations, how they train their employees, their recruiting process. You can learn so many different things from so many different people, but unless you proactively go out there and start networking, it's not going to happen. That knowledge is not going to come to you, and you're not just going to absorb it from being in the same room as people, right? You have to go talk, and you have to build relationships, and you give some value to them. Potentially, they'll give value to you. You can learn something, right? In addition, you can debate topics with people, right? So let's say that you feel very passionately about something, and you go to a meetup with people who are in a very similar industry as you, but they may be on differing sides of the equation, right? So, for example, you could have somebody who's in digital marketing. One person may be more focused on Facebook ads. The other person may be more focused on Instagram ads, right? And so if you have a debate with them, okay, what has been working for you? What has been working for me? Which one's better? Which one's better for my business, for my industry, whatever it may be? You can come to a greater understanding of the topic as a whole, and therefore you can both benefit from talking about it, networking, sharing ideas, discussing things. But unless you go out and you reach out to people and you build those relationships, it's not going to happen, right? So that's why networking is so important, is because you are creating opportunities to either get more business or get a job or learn something, right? So those are the three that we've talked about so far. The fourth, and this is again a little bit less business focused, but for social reasons, right? You may want to go out and make friends. You may really like to go and do some gardening, okay? And so you want to go to a local gardening show and meet fellow gardeners and just have friends who do. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. So you can go out and you can meet very like-minded people, and you can get new friends, right? You can also, on a little bit less serious note, you can find a boyfriend or girlfriend, right? If you can find a significant other, but you have to go out and talk to people, right? And so by putting yourself out there and by networking, and by networking I just mean going out and talking to people and building relationships, you can do all these things. You can reap all these benefits, but it's so important that you do and that you try and that you go out there and put yourself out there, right? So the first four have been get more business, get a job, learn something, social reasons, and the last one, the fifth one, is to solve a problem. Okay, let's say that you are very passionate about fighting Alzheimer's. Okay, so you can go and you can meet other people who are very passionate about that, and y'all can work together. Y'all can fight for a cause. Y'all can solve a problem together, right? And it takes a lot of people to make huge things happen, right? And there are strength in numbers. So when you are actively going out there and meeting people, and you're building relationships with other people that are all aligned towards that same goal, then you guys can unite their strength in numbers and get that done. You can solve that problem, right? And You might want to go to a fundraising event for charity and talk to like-minded people. You might want to go to other philanthropic events that are in the area that you are very passionate about, right? You may just want to go out and meet people, volunteering for a day. There's something called Habitat for Humanity. You can go and I know in New Orleans you can go rebuild houses, and you can help people that were devastated by Hurricane Katrina. So there are different things that you can do to solve problems, but if you're not going out there and you're not networking, you're not finding these opportunities and meeting these people, then it's never going to happen, right? Because at the end of the day, regardless of what we're trying to do, we need to be the driving force in our lives. We need to be the ones progressing ourselves on the path. Nobody else is going to drag us along. We need to be the ones stepping forward. So that goes with networking, that goes with building a business, that goes with writing a book, that goes with doing anything, right? And we have the power to do all these things, but it is up to us to take those first steps and to continue taking steps time after time, right? So these are the 5 reasons why networking is so important: getting more business, getting a job, learning something, social reasons, and solving a problem. All right, you networkers and you incredible people and you entrepreneurs, I love you all. Let's build a better world together. Thank you.